Salam and welcome to brain lesson number 60. This is I'm going to go through this. Don't worry, it looks a bit complicated. My philosophy is to make everything simple, back to basics. With the philosophy KISS, KISS, keep it straight and simple. So let's get to it. Don't worry about I'll go through it slowly, line by line. The lesson for today has got to do with our brain waves, the waves in the brain. So I won't talk about the complicated EEG and all those buttons that you put in your head and all those wires coming out. Let's keep it simple. My main focus is what can we learn from this? Okay, so in simple terms, when you put these electrodes or wires onto the brain, then they checking the brain patterns. The human brain is absolutely amazing, a fascinating organ. As what we said, we spoke about. And my philosophy is to get a message across. When I talk about the human brain, let's revise our earlier lesson. The brain is made up of two hemispheres: left hemisphere, right hemisphere, and then in between we've got a bridge. This bridge is called the corpus callosum. Don't worry about the anatomical word corpus callosum. Excuse me, corpus callosum. Just refer to it as the bridge. This is the logical side of the brain. This is the more visionary side of the brain. This is the people's person. This is EQ. This is IQ, the rational logical side of the brain. Right. So now what is the EEG got to do with the brain? So here we don't talk about frontal lobe, occipital lobe, parietal lobe, all of that. We just talk about how can I use the brain. Right. So when we're putting these electrodes onto the brain, then the neurologist will find different type of things that's happening with the brain. So let's go line by line. First, let's look at the first wave that you can find. These are different types of wave. The first wave is called the beta wave. B stands for beta wave. Okay, this is when your brain is alert. You're awake. You're working at your office. You're going to work, you're studying for your exam, you're attending lectures, you're working in your business, you're attending the boardroom meeting, or you're doing your ward rounds in the hospital, you're examining patients, or you're teaching your school children in class. So the first one is called the beta wave. This is called sensory alert. You're wide awake, you're alert, you're not drowsy, you're not on drugs, you're not on alcohol, you're totally alert, you're totally focused, and you know exactly what is going on. You're driving the car, so you're not drunk and driving. You're totally alert, you're totally focused, and at that point in time, if the neurologist, if the doctor puts these electrodes on your brain, he will see this kind of a pattern on your brain. He will see your brain is moving nicely. The brain waves are close to each other, right? It's like a wave in the ocean, but they're not far apart. They're close to each other. They're the same height, regular nice pattern to say, ek is wakker nou, ek is wakker, I know what's going on, I'm alert, I understand what's going on, I know exactly what's going on, right? So you're alert, you're wakker, you're not on any heavy medication, you're not on drugs, you're not worried about it, you're totally focused. You're not like you got a problem, hey, I heard bad news, my friend got shot, he's in ICU, because then your mind is not there. So if you're worried like that, your mind is not there. That's when you're totally focused. You're attending a boardroom meeting, you're doing a hospital ward round, you're doing an operation on a patient. Your professor is telling you, do this, do ABC, the patient is going to die. Let's focus. So you're not worried about anything else. Even if your cell phone rings, you're not worried about your cell phone. You're totally focused on the task at hand. And at that point in time, your brain will be like this, totally focused. Then if you start to become a bit drowsy, the second type of brain wave is called the alpha wave. This is when you start to become a bit drowsy. Now you had a long day, and you're yawning, and you're feeling a bit drowsy. People ask, how are you? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just a bit tired. I haven't slept. Oh, and you're yawning. I haven't slept nicely. At that point in time, your brain wave will look like this. It'll be similar. The height is the same. Look, there's an order to it. Remember, the height is the same, but it's now spread apart. It's more spread apart. Okay, it's more spread apart. The brain is slowing down now. It's getting ready to sleep. So this is the best time to read to your children, to your grandchildren, read to them storybooks. So instead of the child playing the whole day, being very active during the day, now the child is slowing down. So you read to him storybooks. There's a time when your child must not read. So please, Gen Z, just focus to the Gen Z. Don't read. Don't watch very exciting movies. Don't play video games before you're about to sleep. Otherwise, your brain will go back to beta waves. If you watch video games, you're going to go back to this. Your brain is become totally awake. Then you'll be wakker the whole night. You say, what's going on? The next day, you'll be bablas. You'll be totally bablas. You'll have like a hangover, a TV hangover, or this binge TV watching hangover. So please, when your brain is slowing down, give your brain to slow down. Then you fall asleep. When you fall asleep, your brain goes like this. It slows down, slows down. This is known as deep sleep. Your brain goes, those are known as delta waves. Thus, you can get this two ways. You can get this deep waves. These are very beautiful, and your body needs this type of waves. Your body needs a good sleep. Whether you snore or you don't snore, the brain is slowed down. So when you do 24-hour EEGs, the doctor sees, okay, now he's got a deep sleep. Some patients don't have a deep sleep, and that's why they need medication to fall asleep, because if you don't get this deep wave, your body needs time to recuperate. During this stage of your body is repairing the kidneys, it's repairing the liver, it's producing new cells. The body is fixing up everything. It needs time for this deep sleep. If you don't get this deep sleep, then your body become down with stress. Your body's going to have damage. This is a time when the body is repairing itself. So this is a time when the person will either be snoring, but it'll just be a very deep breathing. Or the person is snoring. I know some people find snoring. Don't wake a person up when they're snoring. Please, that's when they're in the deep sleep. If the snoring is annoying you, just tap them slowly on the shoulder. Not hard, don't shake them up. Just tap them slowly, and then they will automatically turn around. Right? Or you just gently turn the neck slowly, gently, because the snoring is where the part of the back is getting stuck there. Just gently turn, very slowly, very slowly. Then what happens? What happens when you're getting a nightmare? When you're getting a nightmare, this is what happens to your brain. So it's no longer calm. It's no longer spread out. You're no longer in a deep sleep. Now you're getting... And you see when the person you're seeing your partner is in this terrible nightmare, it's called REM. The eyes are moving. You can't, the eyes are closed, but the eyes are moving left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. Yeah, right. When you see someone's eyes are moving left to right under the eyelids, I don't know if you can see it, moving left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. Don't wake that person up. Please don't wake that person up, because that person is going through a terrible nightmare. That's the worst thing. You're going to wake that person. That person get a shock in the heart, so you don't wake the person up. You gently, once again, like as if the person, you gently touch, just slowly until the person, but the brain will come down, then will come down to sleep. Then a brain, you gently touch the person will go back into a deep sleep. Right? You got to put a person from there into a deep sleep. If you're going to shake the person, Vakar, he's going to scrug from here into this high alert. Then the person will say, what the hell? Why did you wake me up? What is going on? Then it'll be wide alert in a way. You don't want that. So sometimes having a nightmare, do it gently, do it kindly. So these are just the different wave patterns. So remember, the best wave pattern is when you're alert. This is beautiful wave patterns. But if you want a new idea, let us say you're thinking about something, and this is how many scientists, they found their discoveries, like the famous Watson-Crick model, the DNA model, and how they found the scientist, what he was doing. But you got to think about it a lot. The subconscious brain is very important. So this scientist was thinking a lot. How can I solve the problem? What is the model of the DNA? The double helix. They just couldn't figure it out, because they could see under the in those days those monographs or these radiographs, it was like an X structure. They do a cross section, it was an X structure. They said, what is this X structure? They just couldn't figure it out. They couldn't. Then they was thinking about it for a long time. Then one day he was sitting by a fireplace, thinking about it, he was dozing off. And all of a sudden, when he was in this is the best alpha brain, it was drowsy, and boom, he got the answer. He said, no, that X shape, we are looking downwards at it. It's actually a double helix. It's a double helix. It is two helixes going like this. And he produced the most magnificent discovery, the double helix DNA model. Magnificent. Why? Because he used his brain. He put his brain into the semi-state. Right? Then the other example is like Archimedes. He was also thinking a long time, what happens? Why is when I come into the bathtub, a solid substance displaces water? What is happening? And then one day when he was thinking about it a long time. He was showering all the time. But on this occasion, his brain waves were in this drowsy stage. So he was tired. The spa was hot. He sank into the bathtub. And it was a full bathtub. Normally they used to just give him a 3/4 bathtub. But in this occasion, they gave him a full bathtub. When he sat into the bathtub, The water came out. He said, what? The solid displaces the water. Eureka! He ran naked through the streets of Greece. Imagine. Because it was a eureka moment. So if you want a eureka moment, get your brain involved in this type of pattern. Final point, you can get this. This is a deep sleep. Remember this deep, when you're snoring, deep breathing, your brain is totally relaxed. You can get that state even if you're awake. So listen carefully, and there are people who know how to do it. Excuse me. People who know how to do yoga or how to do deep meditation, specifically deep meditation. These are the monks, the Buddhist monks. A lot of studies were done on the Buddhist monks. They are amazing people. I don't know how they do it. Medical science have done a lot of research on them. They have a way, whether it is through praying, like Muslims, we pray, which is called zikr. Muslims also go into a trance. Some of the Muslim Sufi specialists, some of the ulama, they know how to go into a trance. They recite various verses, and they go into a trance. So while they're awake, the brain goes into this delta wave. Imagine, while you're awake, these people know how to reduce their blood pressure. When you check, you got a machine and you say, this guy has reduced his blood pressure. They know how to slow their heart rate. So from 72 beats a minute, they bring it down to 65. Then they bring it down to 60. Then they bring it down to 55. Then they bring it down to 45. Absolutely amazing. Just with the power of the brain. That is why I love the human brain. I love this magnificent organ. What happened to my board? Here's it. I love the brain. I love the brain. That is why I say it's not just a brain. It is a beautiful brain. So secret of today, the secret of brainwaves, use it and use it. This is the key. You're going to find answers. Keep the thought at the back of your mind and boom, you'll get the eureka moment. Stay well. Look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.